I think the end, like 2 mana for an 8/8 or a 9/9 is like very attractive.
So is your face.
Time's up. Let's do this.
We're in for a wild night.
Welcome everyone to episode 256 of Born to be Wild, a wild Hearthstone podcast where we have fun, hanging out with friends, talking about the wild formats of Hearthstone, and spotlighting members of the wild community. I am your host this evening, ElectricSheepCity. It is great to be back this fantastic Friday evening here in Kickin' Rad, Colorado. I am joined by fellow hosts Hydralisk.
Yo!
And SchmoopieDady.
Hydra's in his basement and I don't like it. I don't like change.
It's pretty weird. I'm not gonna lie. I am in a dungeon. I am in the dungeon. I'll talk about that in my week. For those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/BornToBeWildHS, and the video version of this podcast is then posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all podcast apps. However you are watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis this podcast today, thank you. Yes, you.
Content plug, SchmoopieDady. Before we get into the main topic of the show tonight, I'd like to say a quick thank you to the patrons of our show. Your support means the world to us. If you enjoyed this content, please like, subscribe, and comment on this video on YouTube. Another simple way to support the show is to leave a review on your podcast platform of choice. If you're watching live on Twitch, we've got some awesome emotes that you can unlock by subscribing to the channel. This is free if you use Amazon Prime. Finally, if you would like to support the show financially, you can join our Patreon for as little as $1 per month. We have some channels in the Discord that are unlocked by subscribing to the Patreon where you can see the show coming together each week. Check it out. If you'd like to interact with us personally, please join our Discord, a free and amazing online community of friends from all across the world who love talking about wild Hearthstone. Link to all of this stuff and more, including our merch, can be found on our website, which is www.borntobewildhs.com. Sheep, how's your week?
I had a decent week, so played a decent amount of Hearthstone and in our format of Wild, in fact. And I'm very excited to talk about the odd DH that I played there when we get to that point. Because, spoiler alert, we're going to talk about some decks today. It's exciting. Outside of the world of Hearthstone, work has kind of been taxing. So whenever I've gotten home, I've mostly just kind of wanted to like do something that's a little bit less interactive. So I've been watching a lot of, I'm not sure how to pronounce his name, but Ari Aster films. So movies. So he did Hereditary, Midsommar, Beau is Afraid, and Eddington, which I haven't seen yet. But the other three I absolutely love. Beau is Afraid. I thought I was gonna hate it because like if you look at like the scores on it, like 5 stars is like decently like high, and 1 star is like the exact same. So like people either love it or hate it. 4 through 2 is kind of like tiny little bits in compared. So like it's a polarizing film, I guess, but one that I really enjoyed. I have not yet seen the director's cut of Midsommar either, but I've got that coming in the mail, and it should be here this coming week. So should actually be here on Thursday. So I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to watch it before our next show because, it's a little longer because it's the director's cut and all that jazz. But hopefully I'll be able to do that and be like, oh man, it wasn't as good as the theatrical version, or oh my gosh, it was so much better. But I've heard that it's not as good. So that kind of like psychological horror, like not necessarily. Hereditary's got like the aesthetic vibes that you're used to seeing from horror movies, but like the other two, not so much at all. But they are definitely that like psychological horror, scary stuff. So like,
Yeah. Cool.
yeah, buddy, I've been really digging that. I mean, outside of that, man, it's really just been work, sleep, watching me some movies, and TV, and Hearthstone. Like that's just kind of been my week. A little on the boring front, but you know, we take those sometimes. Hydra, how's your week been, buddy?
Where to begin? So I am in the dungeon, and so I don't know if there's actually a backstory. It goes like this. So my wife and I decided, because we're going on vacation soon, we rented this cabin that's on a lake, and this lake is on an island that's in the ocean, so it's gonna be like super cool. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. It like, we're very excited. Anyways, and Mini Hydra has been going to the gym for like 2 years straight, and he's looking like really buff. So my wife and I decided to like try to start keto, just to like, well, it was my idea. Like I was like, I gotta like shred some fat before I gotta take pictures with my kid, because we're gonna be snapping photos, right? And so I was like, okay, I got to do something. Like, I'm not in horrible shape, but next to this kid, I'm going to look awful.
I saw the pictures that Hydra sent me last week after the show. Dude is ripped, man. Like,
yeah,
holy
my son
moly.
is ripped. It's ridiculous. So anyways, started keto basically just after the show last week. And then they say you get this like keto flu thing where you feel awful. And I couldn't tell if I had that or if I was getting a real flu. Like I ended up getting a sore throat that was like at a 9 out of 10 in the middle of the night, where you couldn't even swallow water. It was absolutely awful. Anyways, so my wife has banished me as of Tuesday to be away from her, and so that she doesn't get sick, because we also have a family.
Oh, you guys do this.
Yeah. We do, yeah. We like quarantine from each other.
Yeah.
So like one person can like not catch it and still go to work and all that stuff. Even though I've still been working anyway, I just wait till she leaves and then I leave and then I go to work. Because it's only been a sore throat. That's the thing.
Right.
It's been completely fine. And I told the people around me, I was like, stay away from me. I've got a sore throat. And that's been it. I took a COVID test and it was negative. So like it was that was all. And now I feel like I'm at the kind of the end of it. But once again, I'm still banished. So I have this like setup going where I've got this table that's like a table we take camping, and I've got a laptop. I brought my microphone and stuff, so I like grabbed some things and I brought them with me for the podcast, and it's cool. I feel like I'm camping out doing the podcast, so it's pretty fun. But yeah, so that's where I am, and I haven't been able to. I've been playing Hearthstone on my phone, so I don't have like any like stats of how many games I've played. I don't know. I just keep queuing while watching Trailer Park Boys on Netflix. And
Nice.
Smokes.
I just
There's a new season coming out like relatively soon too. Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, I was actually watching their sort of like spin-off seasons called Jail. I don't know if you watched those ones. Yeah, so I was watching those. Yeah, there's two seasons of that, and I burned through those in the last few days. And then playing on my phone. And what is good to play while you're trying to watch TV is Control. So I decided to go away from my regular aggro style of playing and switch to more of a Control deck so I could actually watch TV and just chill. So we'll get more into like what we've been playing a little bit later. But I finished Blaze by Stephen King just last night. And it was a great read. So stoked that read that book, got there, and it was awesome. Absolutely loved it. And then I moved on to Hearts in Atlantis. I don't know if you guys have ever watched that movie. It's got like Anthony Hopkins in it. Came out in
I've heard of it, but
2001.
I have not heard of it, but I have to mention that you said Blaze, and I was immediately distracted and wanted to sing, "It's Blaze and the Monster Machines!" And I was just typing out to see if Sheep had the same reaction. Sorry.
I did not initially, but I do now.
Now you have. Okay, sorry.
Is this a
Just
children's
young
television
child
show?
dad things. Continue. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I finished Blaze. It was awesome. And then yeah, Hearts in Atlantis is really good. It's got a lot of it's I've said this about a few of the books I've read recently, but this is also Dark Tower, very much Dark Tower Sheep. It's about like low men in yellow coats. So
Ooh.
yeah. It's cool. I'm about a third, almost halfway through it so far. Yeah, I'll let you know the further I get. And then I was on, so I've been doing like all this walking, like a lot of walking. We're talking, I've been getting in the last couple of weeks like 30,000 steps a day, which is insane.
Dang.
Like it's a lot. And then once I hit 30,000, I was sort of addicted to hitting 30,000. But then I got banished to the room, and I was like, what am I gonna do in this room where I
Pacing.
can't?
You've got a staircase, buddy.
I do have a staircase and pacing. I did both. Dude, I was just like going around and like.
I was kidding.
No, it's true. I was
true.
like getting as many steps as possible. I yesterday, to hit my step goal, I paced around and around and around like a very small area.
You're such a wild player. Oh my god.
I had to hit the
right
numbers. I
Ways
had
to
hit
say
the
that you play wild without actually like saying I play wild Hearthstone. This is one of the indicators.
Yeah, and since I don't have a lot of room, I was doing other things like planking. So, you don't need room to plank. You just need enough room for your body to lay down. But I think the light is at the end of the tunnel, and I could see it, and I'm going to be out of here by tomorrow. And it's been weird. Like, I've been very much alone. So, out of here by tomorrow. SchmoopieDady, how was your week?
I haven't been in prison. Like you have. That's it's actually I'm catching up a little bit on 2 weeks. So first things first, Shmoopie's been enjoying the gymnastics camp. He comes home sweaty every day, which is a lot of fun. They run him around a lot. It's like a big open floor with and they have they have a pit with like the foam blocks in it, and like wall climbing and rungs. It's funny because he's 7 years old, but if he takes his shirt off for like a shower or something like that, he's got like a 6-pack and like pecs starting to come in. It's like oh god, I'm like, come on, this guy's a monster. So it's like funny that he's having it's funny that he's having so much fun. And we're having a nice time with daughter. Home for now, but next year we'll see. She seems like she feels a little left out. She doesn't get to go anywhere and make friends. Everywhere we go, she's like, Dad, how can I make friends? It's like, well, honey, we're sitting for another 15 minutes while Shmoopie does his swim lesson. You can't exactly make friends with random people on the bleachers who aren't your age. And are watching their kids. So disagree. I mean, okay, that's fair.
I mean, if it's parents, then yeah, probably.
It's like parents. Just like, I want to make friends. It's like, you can't make friends with anybody. There's that one 1-year-old who's trying to eat his mom's cell phone, but like I don't think you're going to get much communication skills from that one. So that's been good. That's been normal. I missed last week because it was my wife and my anniversary. The 1st of August is the day we got married. 10 years ago? I didn't remember immediately. Yeah, I didn't remember immediately that it was 10 when asked. With my wife present, and she gave me a look, so unlucky. But yeah. but no. So for us, it was like, okay, well, it's the first of the month. We're gonna grind ladder. So we were both playing. She was playing Seedlock. I started with Odin Warrior, and then was like, nah, this isn't quite working. It's so funny because I feel like the first month they mixed up the MMR and how it works. I was seeing a pretty diverse, like, cross section of decks up to D5 and then beyond. Like, they had completely gotten rid of, like, past D5, you see only aggro. And I have felt like recently it's almost gone right back to it. I don't know if somebody clicked a button and didn't realize it or what, but I feel like post D5, it's much more aggro heavy, just like it used to be. And so, like, you know, we went out, we climbed, we said we wouldn't climb during dinner. We had a nice dinner. We walked to a beer store. I found some fantastic world-class IPAs that you can only really get in Vermont, but I guess the guy started distributing. They're so good, nice. I've gone back and gotten more. I'm having some tonight. Nice. And you know, we went back and, like, we put the kids to bed, and her parents were watching the kids, and they love Grandma and Pop watching them because it's movie night, and they get snacks and they get popcorn, and, like, you know, the grandparents indulge them, but are also, like, step in and play referee when my daughter just randomly tackles my son, for reasons, you know, and shrieking like an animal. She's feral. Unlucky. And so, you know, we put them to bed, and then, you know, we were still hanging out. We watched Sandman. We drank beer. It was like we were in our mid-20s, and we had a nice night. And while we were doing that, since we were, like, Sandman came out with a second season, what we decided was, like, we watched the first episode of the second season, and I was like, babe, I don't quite remember enough of this to really know exactly who all the players are and what's going on. Let's rewatch the first series. And she's like, okay. So we started rewatching, but as we were rewatching, we remembered enough of it that we didn't have to pay full attention to it. So we've been kind of like phone surfing and goofing off and doing other stuff while we were watching the first season. So we were watching the first season. We've already seen it. And it was just nice to watch TV and hang out with my wife like I used to before we had children, and drink beer. And I was climbing. And I did, in fact, hit Legend. I didn't expect to. I remember posting... I can check the time, but I remember posting like 10 p.m. being like, guys, I'm not streaming. I'm pretty deep in the beers. I do not expect to hit Legend. And then later posting Lamau, I hit Legend, and posting like my rank 36. I have never been more inebriated and hit Legend in my life. I've nice. Never, I swapped from Seedlock to Skipper Warrior, XL Skipper Warrior, and just hit a nice matchup spread, was writing down my opponents. I queued into a mage who mysteriously conceded turn 5. I called them paid actor mage. I have no idea why they left to this day. But I hit a streak of like 8 in a row and just crushed it. And then proceeded to mess up my Legend tweet. Like, I just, like, there was, like, the code didn't work and there were misspellings and stuff. And yeah, no, so I was, like, I was freaking gone. But I hit Legend Day 1, which was good because July I hadn't, and the last month that I hadn't hit Day 1 Legend was actually our anniversary last year. So, so ironically, last year, I didn't hit Day 1 Legend on our anniversary, and that was fine, right? Like, I mourned it. It passed. It was fine. We had a wonderful anniversary. We had a wonderful day together, and so, like, that was more important than anything. But, you know, that was also last year, the month of the Wild Brawl. And in that same month of the Wild Brawl, I got 2 12-win Brawl wins. So, like, that was 12-win Brawl runs, like, back-to-back. And I was like, all right, well, that's a heck of an achievement. I'll take that over at Day 1 any day. And so I've been mostly playing Brawl per content. Before I was playing Brawl per content, I was doing a low sample size, high win rate series of Survivor. So I was basically, you know, taking decks off HS Guru that had a low number of games, but a very high win rate for those low number of games, and assigning them to chatters who wanted to join the competition with points. And so, like, some poor devils got, like, Mech Paladin and Elemental Mage. And the Elemental Mage that only cost about 1,600 dust won the whole thing with a record of 7-1, which was kind of incredible. I think it's good, but not great. But when we start talking about Brawl and Brawl decks, I will explain the construction of my Hostage Mage because it was directly influenced by that competition and the number of reps I had with a specific deck. So that's mostly been my week. I've been brawling a little bit on stream. I've had 3 runs. I've had an 8-3 with Hostage Mage, and a 9-3 with Hostage Mage, and a 2-3 with Seedlock that we're not going to talk about. And so let's talk about the news. What's going on with the news?
Welcome to the news. The news is so good.
Yeah, so there's not really a whole lot of news this
Brawl!
week. But there is a brawl going on, so we get to talk about that thing, which is so exciting that we actually have another, like you said, Shmoopie, I think the last one was last year this time, a wild, heroic brawl. So I'll kind of get my mine out of the way first, just because mine wasn't really a brawl deck. I misunderstood the assignment that I set. But I've been playing me some Odd Demon Hunter. Do not take this into the brawl. You will probably not do well. I mean, I've been climbing with it, but I mean, I'm not going to say that it's good.
I think reviewing this concept when I was doing like a card review, I was just like, I wouldn't time someone out for sending me this, but it's not great. 2! Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, it's the quest, the new quest, Demon Hunter, with odds, so that, you know, all your hero powers are progressing your quest. It's really fun. Don't take it into the brawl. Don't take it into kind of like a competitive atmosphere. But it is a lot of fun. So moving on to brawl decks. We've got Shmoopie's Hostage Mage on here first. So Shmoopie, tell us a little bit about this Hostage Mage and what makes this one kind of particularly well suited for this brawl.
Quick little spicy interaction. Do we have the Corb graphic for what, like, the rough tier list that he was looking at before we
very
drop
good
into
call.
that? Because that seems like a good place to start as far as explaining things. Okay. So looking at this graphic, Corb's really good at like looking at data and just dropping stuff down into general tiers. I don't typically like tier lists because I have a tough time distinguishing from like the top of tier 2 from the bottom of tier 2 to like the top of tier 3. Like you can really get in the weeds and bicker about what spot things can be in a tier. But like just talking about their strengths and weaknesses, you can get, I think, a much better picture of where they kind of belong in the lists. But this was interesting. So the best decks in Wild right now, according to statistics and Corbett in his tier list, are XL, Call to Arms, Paladin, and Hostage Mage. So if you're picking 2 decks that you want to bring into the brawl and feel pretty good about it, I think those are your 2 best options. My best runs have been with Hostage Mage. It's basically free wins into standard decks because I have seen a lot of standard decks, and standard decks just do not run any kind of hand disruption.
You wouldn't stand a chance.
Or secret hate.
Wouldn't standard a chance?
Yeah, very good, very good. I think my closest calls are one of some poor son of a gun running standard mech warrior popped my block, like when I was on like 26, and then they dropped down like an Endbringer Umbra, and I was like, ooh, that was a little spooky. Anyway, and then I froze his board 5 turns in a row and gained 50 armor. So like, you know, there's like, you know, there's some ways they can get you, but by and large, it's kind of a cushy climb. Extra large Call to Arms Paladin you could argue it's the best deck in the format, and you can also argue it's completely unplayable. It is the most feels bad OP deck of all time. It doesn't have the unique even Paladin issues that we've talked about in the past in this program, where going first, even Paladin was like S tier, and going second, it was like tier 3. But it sort of suffers from a similar issues where you can lose to a bad draw and like tier 4 plus garbage. just randomly, just like Reno and clears, and like all of a sudden you've died. Or you can absolutely wreck people. And it's very good into Hostage Mage. It's very good into Seed Lock. It's very good into Disco if you find Showdown and Beam. It's great into most of the best decks in the format. And the stats back that up. But it feels bad to pilot 9 times out of 10. For me, at least. I have a lot of trouble with it. So those are your best options going in. I think Seed Lock is a great option, too, because Disco is cheap. Disco pushes out of their aggro. Seed Lock in general is favored into Discard Warlock, though I'm feeling it's not as dominant as I once thought it was, having played enough Seed Lock. And those are really the highlights that I would pick out. I'm not going to go through the whole tier list. We have the graphic, and I think we're going to have the graphic on the show notes as well, because he has 20 or 30 decks, and I don't think it's a worthy use of our time going into where everything sits on the tier lists. But those are like the big players, I would say, is Discard Warlock. Seed Lock is a good idea. Hostage Mage and XL Call to Arms Paladin are really your best options going in. But people generally kind of knew that. All right, which brings me to my Hostage Mage and what I'm playing. So the list I'm playing is actually based off of the list that I was using in the small sample size, high win rate Survivor Series. And the goofy thing about this list is some genius thought about putting Romath inside of the ETC. Now, the original list itself didn't have Ysera. So it was difficult to time getting enough mana to do ETC Potion, get a 1 mana ETC, ETC Romath. Romath has the potion reloaded now. Gets a 1 mana ETC, and now you have an easy way to get your Light Show. It's not the worst way to build the list, and I mocked it endlessly at first, and then it grew on me. Because it frees up all your other spots for tech. And like I said, the original list didn't really run Ysera, which I think was a mistake. Going over 10 mana, having 11 mana even, means you can do ETC, Potion, Frost Nova, and now the ETC has stuck, and now you can play your Romath, and then you can go get your Romath, or you can do what you want to do. But just like you need a turn, you need that turn to potion the ETC, and you need a way to stall to get there. So I like it a lot better with Ysera in the list. It's got all my favorite toys from the mirror. It's got Objection. It's got Dirty Rats. It's got Theotar. It's got Bob. I cut Mezzadune at one point and put in Watercolor Artist because Mezzadune felt like it was too slow. It was getting stuck in hand too often. So Watercolor Artist, just to draw your frost spells and reduce them, felt really good. Just doing Hostage Mage stuff. And I had 2 great runs with this list, or a similar list with Mezzadune, and then the list with this iteration, 8-3, 9-3, worked out great. And so that's basically what I would suggest as far as a Brawl deck. But, again, we're going to skip away from the Brawl for a second because I'm sort of done waxing poetic, holding you hostage, talking about Hostage Mage. Hydra, let's talk about, your pet deck right now because it's also near and dear to my heart.
Well, I noticed you used the word skip. So,
Honk.
As mentioned before, I was looking for something to play that was, I guess, different. In all honesty, I think I actually picked the deck up before I even got banished, but it seemed to work really well while being banished. And so SchmoopieDaddy's talked forever, as long as I swear the cards existed, about Odin Warrior and how usually you'll aggro your way up to D5 and then take advantage of being in that spot, and because everyone's playing aggro up there trying to get to legend, and just take advantage of that and have a really good win rate. And I thought to myself, I'm just gonna do that from the beginning. I didn't even bother playing aggro. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna chill. I'm gonna sit back. Let's try playing Odin Warrior. SchmoopieDaddy's played it so many times, every month since as long as I can remember, since the card's been out.
About 2 years. Like when we were swimming in even shaman bots, I really liked a 30 version. And then when Miracle Rogue was meta last Brawl, this deck was like had like tier 1 stats because of how good it was into Miracle Rogue, and I still go back to it every once in a while. Yeah, for sure. Sorry, not to interrupt.
Yeah, and you know what? It's kind of funny because not really knowing, like, I was never a big like Skipper Warrior fan. Sure, I've had people blow me out of the water and gain 1,000,000 armor with it, right? Like I've seen it happen to me, but I mean the combo's pretty simple, really. And then I still didn't know exactly how we're playing the deck. Like I learned obviously that having, what is it? Geppetto is awesome. You don't need to worry about using your combo pieces, like the minions anyway, because you get them all back, right? Like that's super cool. So 100%. You don't need to hold on to them. And then, but I still didn't fully understand everything, right? So like I was keeping Odin like in the opening hand, like when I saw Odin, I was like, I'm keeping this because I need this, right? And I think you mentioned to me like, no, you want to. What is it? Is it from the, what's the card?
From the depths, yeah. You want to try and high roll it off from the depths if you can. Yeah.
So I was keeping, and I was still winning by keeping it, right? Like that was like still working. You just had to obviously make your way to 8 mana or, ramp, because you can ramp in this deck.
And that's yeah, sorry, that's my issue with keeping it in hand, because like it can get disrupted if you're keeping it in your hand, and it's like -1 card until you have enough mana to cast it. And so I like would rather top deck it turn 8, or I would rather find it for much less mana off from the depths, was the logic there. But like there's MTG logic that if you have a deck, a card named that the deck is named after, you keep the card, right? Like that's like MTG logic. So like I'm not faulting you for keeping that at all. That makes a lot of sense, that why you would.
Yeah, and it was working that way too. So I've been tossing it back now. I've been trying it that way, but as being banished, I don't have my stats or anything with this deck, but it's been going really well. And then when I shared with you which list I was playing, you were saying, you've recently changed a couple things with the way that you've been playing it. So what did you switch from this list that I'm currently running?
So we are running 3 cards different. You're still running Gift, Bulwark, and Call to the Stand in the ETC. I am running 2 Blade Storms, and I'm running Starfish in the ETC. The reason why I'm running 2 Blade Storms is because your most common aggro matchup is Disco, and Soul Barrage eats a Bulwark alive. So it's not even like the greatest anti-aggro tool. And so I was on the, like, it feels bad because initially I had it in there to give yourself a hope and a prayer against Holy Wrath. I find Holy Wrath not to be a common enough matchup for it to be worth, versus Discard Warlock, which is like anywhere from 10 to 20% of my meta, especially climbing, right, earlier in the month. So I'd rather have Bladestorm, which is a lot more effective. I initially put Bladestorm in because it's just like, oh, I'm seeing Miracle Rogues. I want a tool against a big old giant boards. But it's really effective against some early disco boards because, like, Malkazar's Imp and, a Silverware Golem on turn 1, at least you kill the Imp and you set the Golem down to a 3/1. So like it's a way to just combat those tall boards, and Disco makes a lot of tall boards. So I found the useful utility there. The Starfish is probably, I selected it maybe once or twice during the climb. Honestly, it's in there as Paranoia Tech versus Quest Priest because I refuse to lose to Quest Priest because I think it's a bad deck. All due respect, Sheep. I think it's a really bad deck, and I think people are overplaying
liked my Quest Priest, though.
He did like your Quest Priest. I shared it with him because I was just like, this Quest Priest is clean, by the way, Marshy. Because you were all, like, you're all in on like low curve, all spells, complete it quick, bring the dudes back quick.
Yeah.
And And honestly, like it with like the horror hybrids, I wonder if there's like a priest deck out there that's just like spam horrors instead of like trying to complete the quest, but you play it like the quest without the quest. I don't know, because that's how I normally lose. But Starfish is there for the quest priest reward because I hate it. Call to the Stand is perfectly reasonable to have because it's like, well, let's have a dirty rat in the dirty rat deck, right? But it's a 1-mana dirty rat. So you play ETC, you have the Call to the Stand, and like that gives you some chance against off-board combo. But honestly, our lists are so similar, Hydra, you're basically playing what I would play. I think the Bulwark is really the biggest call there. Gift is whatever. Gift can be an extra clear, or Gift can be a shield block, whatever. But the Bulwark really, I made the call that Soul Barrage basically makes it irrelevant. And I didn't want an irrelevant card in most of my aggro matchups. How are you feeling about the list?
You know what? Like I said, I've been enjoying it so far. The Soul Barrage, that does totally make a lot of sense. That would just, destroy your Bulwark. Also, I versed it an Imbue Mage, and I was like, oh, that's rude. Because it does the same stupid thing. And I was like, okay, that burns there too. But
you soaked up 4, which is good, but like,
yeah, I know, not that much, right? And I think that happened twice that I ran into that deck, and that happened. But in the end, I just been having a lot of fun with it. I do struggle sometimes early game with those Malchezaar's imps that are just on the board, and I cannot clear them at the beginning. And that sucks because I'm looking for something to do that with, and they end up getting out of control if I can't deal with them right away. I wish I could see my win rate against Disco Lock. I often, from what I remember, do quite well once I can get the refill. But
little tip that I do against Disco Locks, I tempo 1-mana minions all the time. I tempo Eternium Rovers on 1. If I have an Eternium Rover into Warlock, I keep it in the mull and I'll tempo it. Because, like, coin... Let's say they want to do, like, coin, merchant, and discard a Soul Barrage. Have you ever seen a Soul Barrage versus an Eternium Rover? It's hysterical.
I have. It's great.
Yeah.
Because the Eternium Rover eats 3 pings, and you gain 4 armor in total from the interaction, right? Like, 2 pings go face, and you still gain 4 armor. So, I like tempoing the Eternium Rover. I like tempoing Rockstar and hero powering on 2. Anything you can do to kind of, like, provide enough board pressure that you can, in theory, trade into a Silverware Golem in order to get an Aftershocks clear or something like that is all good. And anything that soaks up pings from a Soul Barrage is good. So I have found that matchup, like, it's probably like a 65-35 or a 70-30. Like, it's not the freest matchup in the world, but you're totally favored. And so that's been my one major change in play pattern again in that matchup specifically that I think can help.
I just had a memory come back to me so Sheep and I did some friendlies, and so he was playing his big priest, and I Theotard his quest reward, and played the quest reward for. It got worse because I was like, there's no way Sheep has a way to get this back unless, like, because he discovered a few things. Yeah, he mind controlled it and took it back.
And I had power chord synchronized too, so like even if I hadn't done that, but I wanted to do the discover one, the discovered one.
The discovered one. Yeah, because it feels extra bad, right? But it was so funny. I was like, oh, I'm gonna hold on to this Theotar. I am taking him. It was so perfect, and then mind control took it back. It was pretty funny. It was, like I said, it was a friendly match, but it was hilarious. A good highlight of the zany things that can happen in Hearthstone.
Rude. Just rude.
Yeah,
the whole game was fun.
The whole game was fun, yeah.
I think you can make a case, too, honestly. I think you can make a case, too, that you could just cut ETC entirely and just play Rikara the Valorious. And do fine.
So I think so far, Tight Lip Witness helped me, like, once. It's almost always Rokara is what's been happening. I would say easily 9 times out of 10.
So like you could make that case. Another thing that I just remembered is I actually am not playing this deck right now because all you can eat is bugged. All you can eat is drawing minions sometimes with the same type. And it tilts me to no end. It would tilt me to no end that I need a solution. The number of times that on stream or playing this deck where I all you can eat specifically to get Finley to flip my hand to go find a card in my deck, because that's what I really love about this deck is you can get your hand on any card in the deck. You can reach out and touch any card in the deck. There's so much draw in the deck, right? And there's enough mana cheat that you have access to it. And you like, you know, you could have a, you could go get Odin.
Yeah.
You could go, right. You could go get what you want when you need it. That not being able to rely on all you can eat to get me my Finley when I want my Finley and it's guaranteed, bugs the crap out of me. So I'm actually not playing this deck right now. I really want to do a Brawl run with this deck too. Because I felt like, well, if everybody is like, if I'm swimming in disco, this is a great bring. But, the all you can eat, which is bugged right now, they know about the bug. It's been recorded. I'll just wait for that to be fixed because I don't want to have to change my play pattern.
Makes sense. I didn't even realize that it was actually bugged.
Oh yeah, right now. Well, it's 3 mana, draw 3, and like, okay, that's still really good. But you're not, you know, you're always guaranteed to get like Skipper, Rover, Rockstar, or Skipper, Rockstar, Finley, or like you're guaranteed to get pieces to the Skipper combo when it's not bugged. And right now it's like Skipper, Rockstar. It's like, well, that might be helpful, or that might lose you the game because you don't have any way to gain armor now, and you're not getting you're not guaranteed, like, or you've already used all your Rovers. You should get Finley from that interaction, and you don't. Like that would bug me. That would bug me a lot. So I'm staying away from it. And before anybody who listens to the show is just like, why isn't there Replicator? Why isn't there Replicator Nader in the list? I think the 5 mana 5/5 pass your turn also screw up your all you can eat because you're drawing a frickin' brick and you're adding a useless card to your hand, which is an 8 mana 8/8 that also bricks your all you can eat later if you Finley. And the 1/1 just to do the silly pop off for 200 plus armor is just win more garbage. It's just not good. I've had people be like in my YouTube comments, no Replicator Nader, maybe in the ETC thinky face, and I'm like, no, it's a bad card. It's just dog water. In the strongest of terms that I'm allowed to use on Born Be Wild without needing somebody to edit the card out, like you edit my statement out. Just no, it's just crap.
Yeah. I will say that sometimes there's something extremely satisfying about going like the really, really long game and pulling out like a massive just attack with your hero, like out of nowhere, where like you've made it to fatigue. You've been playing this game for like 25 minutes and then like bam, and you hit him for like whatever. Let's say it's 80
200 or something.
200, 586. I don't know what the number, the highest you can actually get with this deck, but it's really fun to go the long game and not sure you're actually going to get there, but then just wrap it.
You just go for it.
I love it. I just love it. Oh yeah, I don't even know like what I'm going to get, right? It's like, well, let's pull the trigger now.
The next stage in the deck, Padawan, the next thing I want you to start looking for, if you haven't already started looking for them, is Aftershocks lethals.
No,
right?
that's
like
what it
Double
was.
Armor
Yeah.
Sith and Rockstar. Oh, it's so
No.
those are my favorite. Those are legit my favorite way to find lethal.
That that did come after a while where I realized Aftershock was Bay, basically. Like, I was like, oh, wait. Because I did it once, like, sort of on a whim to see what I was going to get. And I'm like, I didn't realize this was going to happen. This is awesome. Yeah, no, it was totally that. And it was awesome.
If there's nothing left I can teach you. You just need the reps now. No, it's like you said, it's so much fun, and it's a really rewarding deck when it works. And it's like, if you like Even Warrior, it's not the same play style, but it's like virtually the same matchup spread, but this is almost always better in every matchup. I would think it's just I think it's more consistent, and you have a little bit of a better chance into other things that even Warrior has no hope in.
Yeah, but because Justicar is now odd.
Absolutely, that's the reason.
I would almost want to jam a Ysera in here for more ramp if it wouldn't mess up our all-you-can-eats. That's the big downside. Huge downside, which is why I wouldn't do it.
Xavius too, right? Like being able
Yeah.
to tutor a specific minion with a dark gift would be really cool. Demon tag. So I've seen people start doing weird stuff like caricature artists, and I vomited a little bit in my mouth. Like I just wouldn't do it. And I've seen some weird ETCs, people putting like Jiraxis and stuff in their ETC. I'm like, what? How bad do you suck at the deck that you haven't found lethal yet? That you have to go it? It's just bizarre. So yeah, that's
Kill Jaden.
kill Jaden. I've done that so many times now. I've done that so many times now. I'm demon racist. Sorry. Cancel.
I did steal someone's Kill Jaden the other day, and they conceded. So it was an instant concede. I was like, ooh.
No, I'm so happy you're trying the deck.
Well, yeah, because I don't often dabble in control decks. I've been known to every once in a while, right? But yeah, no, it's something like the whole risky skipper thing is annoyed me for so long. And like it always drives me crazy. You think you're getting somewhere, and then the warrior just goes and gets a bazillion armor, and it's always kind of drove me crazy. So I never wanted to play something that drove me crazy until I wanted to be lazy, and and now I think it's awesome.
Warrior's just like, nope.
Yeah, well, also I like fast games, right? Like I don't want to spend forever climbing normally. And I usually just like to go quick, but I guess just haven't been in the mood for quick. And it can be quick too if you just destroy your opponent if they're playing aggro, well, they're just gonna leave when they realize it's hopeless.
Yeah, those games are fast and very stress free. I think my fastest lethal is like turn 5. I think I did a turn 5 once. From the depths, coin Odin into I somehow had, how did this happen? I had like an armor smith discounted from somewhere. No, how is that even possible? It must have been 6. You can get Odin down on 4 with the coin with the right sequence of plays. But I think the fastest you can get is turn 6 with like Armor Smith, Rockstar, Aftershocks, if one of those Armor Smiths is discounted in some way. Which I did pull off once. I don't know if I did like From the Depths in Finley. Maybe I did like a From the Depths in Finley and pulled it off that way. But I did that to Legend once and it got clipped into a Zeddy raid, which was pretty funny because that's what they raided into. It's just me nuking some Reno Holy Wrath Paladin on turn 6 for Legend.
Glorious.
So we take those.
Yeah, we do. Cool. Anyway, I'm gonna keep playing it because so far so good, and yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Well, we've got another deck on here that was a bit of a later add, and that is this Sinferno Druid. So it's tell us
mill
a
druid.
little bit about this. So it is a mill druid.
Yeah, I'm for a long period of time I banned people sending me Mildruid because I'd pick up a Mildruid and it sucked, and people would be like, "We love Mildruid," and I'd lose, and I'd get angry, and so I got sick of getting angry, and so I banned Mildruid from my stream for a decent amount of time. But I think Sinferno's been cooking. So things that are very good right now. Decks that have cheap clears. Decks that can armor up, because Disco does not like healing and it does not like clears. And this deck kind of does that. Another thing that's sort of been a renaissance, I think, in Wild is we forgot how good Shattered Reflections on an ANR was. Turns out Shattered Reflections on an ANR is pretty good. So if you find a way to play Shattered Reflections on the first ANR without refreshing mana, you can then play the third one. And so 3 ANRs in a turn is usually game winning. And so that's like the main win con I would say this deck has in its arsenal first and foremost. That's the game plan before anything else. Like, forget the milling aspect. That has always sucked. But, like, you know, it does give you a positive win rate into something like Hostage Mage that is stuck holding a lot of cards.
Yes, or like Odin, where when you're just trying to draw a bunch of cards and get to, you know, your Odin and stuff, and you're trying to get there. Because Mill Druid did burn a buttload of my deck recently, unfortunately, because I didn't realize it was going to be Mill Druid. I did not know.
If you know it's Mill Druid, so if you know it's Mill Druid, and this is a big if, you know it's Mill Druid, they don't really apply any pressure. I'm sorry, this is a very Odin Warrior specific response. If you know it's Mill Druid, and my boss fight for the 12-win run that I did last year on stream wasn't Mill Druid, I soul read that it was Mill Druid, and I was dumping cards like crazy. So, like, you try to go for your new heights, you dump cards like crazy, and the nice thing is, like, you have Geppetto, right? And so anything you dump, any of your combo pieces that you can dump, you can eventually get back. You just can't afford to have stuff taken or stolen. Now, it does leave you open to, like, Rats and Theatar, and this list does run Theatar. So, you know, you kind of have to hope you get, you know, you just happen to draw Odin on the right turn, and you get it down, and you don't burn it. But if you have less cards than the Mill Druid, you're winning, right? So, like, that's what I'm always trying to do, at least in that matchup specifically. So this deck does well into Disco. It does pretty well into Call to Arms Paladin because we're not, like, suffering from, like, a bunch of battle cries, and we've got stuff like Seeds and Rising Waves. We've got plenty of spells to trigger Omayog. It does okay in the Hostage Mage because Hostage Mage perpetually, like, half the difficulty of playing Hostage Mage is managing hand space. I've gotten some responses from some people that are just like, why are you running Ysera? Why aren't you running Audio Amplifier? I would rather have +1 hand space. Yeah, but Ysera is a passive effect. You don't have to draw it in order to get the benefit. And Audio Amplifier, if hand space is your big issue, usually it's a skill issue as far as how you're playing Hostage Mage. So this does decent in the Hostage Mage. The one nightmare matchup I see is Seedlock, which is why, and this pains me to say it, it's why we're running Skulking Geist, chat. It's why there's a Skulking Geist in our ETC. Now, in general, I believe if you are relying on Skulking Geist to beat a Seedlock because it deletes their mass productions, you're in general suffering from mass delusionment. Like, you need another way to end the game that isn't going to do it. Because eventually the Seedlock is just going to find fatigue, buddy. Especially if it's, you know, Mill Druid. And you've played some mass production. And you've played some due processes, right? Like, they're going to get to fatigue. They're going to get to it quickly. So how does Sinferno beat Seedlocks? The way he was saying he was beating Seedlocks is he was dropping the Geist to blow up the mass productions, and then he was doing Shadow Reflections on ANRs, and everybody's a gangster until they're dealing with 5 ANRs. So, like, I can kind of see it, right? Like, that's a lot of tempo all at once. It's a lot of healing. They have to answer your board while also deal enough damage to you that you know, they win. You can always do branching paths for attack. Like, there are ways you get there.
Yeah.
If you're really cute, you can make sure you play your Naturalize post Mista Vista, but before you Geist. And then you can, like, ooh, surprise, you ramped up your fatigue, and now the Naturalize is killing your thing. Right? Like, you can get kind of cute that way. But yeah, no, like, the Explode-Near is in there. I think, what did he say he was using it for? He was using it as a Holy Wrath tech. So, like, Holy Wrath was doing dredges and stuff, and the Explode-Near was launching bombs into the deck. It's not really for Mage. It's more for just messing up Holy Wrath because you have no hope or prayer against Holy Wrath if you don't disrupt them somehow. So make them draw a bunch of cards, make them reorder their deck so they don't like the order of their deck, and make them cry that way. He got 9 out of 3. Now, he did do one change. I kept the Seabreeze Chalice because Sinferno made a change. He cut the Seabreeze Chalice for Sleepy Resident, and then was complaining on stream that that his Pendant of Earth was not hitting Ceaseless Expanse often enough. Now that he'd added Sleepy Resident. So I'm going to leave Sleepy Resident out in this list, but I'll just say that he cut Seabreeze Chalice for it. But he has the Seabreeze Chalices in there for early aggro solutions, or you could run Sleepy Resident instead. And his original rank 1 list had Togwaggle instead of the Explodoneer. Togwaggle is like a really fringe inclusion. You would use Togwaggle when you were happy that nothing was in your deck that was important. You could fill up your opponent's hand and then ETC Tog and swap their deck, and they're not getting their deck back. And you're also convinced that their deck is better than your deck. Considering how often he's shattering ANR, you're usually giving them at least 1 ANR. So I don't know. That was a little too awkward. The Explodoneer is probably getting just like more mileage, and obviously Jiraxis is what you're picking 90% of the time anyway. So you can't fatigue, and you have infinite tempo. Oh my god, I did it again. Cancel Schmoopie. He's demon racist. All right. This is almost as bad as that time that I thought Thrall was. I thought Thrall was. Oh God, who's the warlock? Gul'dan. Unlucky. Anyway, so yeah, I responded to an actual play Hearthstone, and somebody actually'd me, and I was just like, oh man, look, now I'm.
And they were right.
And they were absolutely right. They were absolutely right, and I was showing my prejudice. But yeah, no. So this is like a spicy thing you could try in the Brawl. Sinferno went 9-3, 12-3, and 3-3. So like, buyer beware. Wow. There's a lot of variance in the Brawl, but like, it's not like there are no good matchups. I think this is actually kind of uniquely placed in the meta right now that it can do pretty well.
Cool.
Excitement abounds. I haven't really been a big Mildruid player as of late, but this one looks like fun with the Shattered Reflections Aeonar combo that we all know and love, and of course, I mean,
know and love. Yes,
Guff.
Yes, we all love it. Yeah, Guff. It's Jeff.
When we do it, we love it, right?
We do it. Right.
Uh-huh.
And you get to use your your favorite druid portrait before you replace it with a space cow on 5.
Yeah. Delightful.
Unrelated Advice with Hydralisk
and ElectricSheepCity.
Okay.
It's for both of us.
It's for both of you guys. All right. So we recently had a meeting with Alkali where we sat down and talked about stuff about what was coming. It was nice to like just touch base with her. She wants to really like reach out to the broader community at some point, but she has a lot of work to do beforehand. So we're not going to this question is not about any of that. We're not getting ahead of her whatsoever. But a very important question was asked because I was in the deli, I was ordering lunch for my daughter and myself, and I wanted to know what Alkali was getting. So I want to know what you guys, you're at the deli, what are you ordering? My daughter was getting a grilled cheese with bacon. I'm getting an Italian combo with everything on it except for the hot peppers. It's not that I don't like the heat, it's because I don't like the stems in the hot peppers if they don't cut them properly. So that's not the deli's fault. That's just they come that way pre-cut. I get it, but I don't like crunching into something that's hard and stemmy in my sandwich, man. It sucks. So anyway, Hydralisk, what are you getting first?
Oh my gosh. Was this an Italian deli specifically?
Italian deli.
Oh my gosh.
Gabagool.
So, there was one that I used to go to after work, and they sort of dabbled in multiple different regions worth of foods, and they just had one that was called like the Italian, and I always ordered that one. There's like a Mediterranean, there's an Italian, right?
What was on it? Let's hear it.
Well, the thing is, I'm not very Italian, so I don't know. It was on a ciabatta bun. I know that. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay. I married Italian. I will be judging your pronunciation. Go ahead. What was in
Oh,
there?
I already said one thing wrong. All right. There
there we go.
There was definitely this white colored sauce that was on it. I don't know what that is.
Interesting.
Probably aioli, if I'm guessing.
I would
That
guess
sounds-
as well.
That
Yes.
sounds right. It was also extremely so there was a very thinly sliced meat that was on it, and it was very spicy, very much spicy. There was also
I wonder if that was hot prosciutto or hot because like you get the red pepper, you get like red peppers mixed in with the meat sometimes. That's
there was also like fresh red peppers in it as well.
Hell yes. All right, I'll take that. Yep.
And
Any cheese?
sorry.
Any cheese? Provolone, mozzarella.
I believe it was provolone because provolone.
Okay,
I do.
yep.
I buy provolone all the time from the deli. I love
Okay,
provolone.
yeah.
I actually order provolone on my pizza. When I order pizza, I ask for provolone on top. They put the big big circles of
All
provolone
right, a little
on it.
sacrilegious, but you know what? I'll let it go. I'll let it go. Not the topic for today. Okay.
But so, like I said, I wish I was more educated on Italian. But that sandwich, it is so good. It is so spicy. The only downside to it when I'm done is it like somehow destroys the roof of my mouth. Like it is hot, and the bun itself,
Acidity. Sure.
it like cuts into the.
Oh, you got like the ripping? Oh yeah. No, that's how you know
Yeah.
the bread's good though.
Oh my god!
But I
Yeah,
agree.
but it is amazing, and I am a sucker for punishment. So when I do my walks, I tell you I do like my 5K on lunch hour, right? I walk past that place and I grab one of those and I eat it while I walk. And every time I get back, I'm like, this really hurts, and then I do it again, like the next day.
Another one.
So you know
You're
what?
like
Next time,
you're like Prometheus. You're like Prometheus, except it's instead of your liver getting torn out, it's the roof of your mouth, which I would argue is more painful.
it is pretty painful. I'll get an ingredients list next time. I think it's actually probably funnier me guessing what the ingredients were because I don't know.
No, that was highly entertaining. Thank you. All right, Sheep. What's your order?
So I always go for the Italian combo as well. Not all of them do the like oil and vinegar on it. So I, by default, so I make sure that they do that thing. And I kid you not, I always get extra peppers.
Ooh, hot or just sweet?
I usually get extra of both because
Okay,
I just
extra of
love
both.
the banana pepper kind of style, like
Sure, the pepperoncini. Yep.
juicy. It mixes with the like oil and vinegar all nice and delicious.
Okay. Respectable. Wiser words have never been spoken, and you heard that on.
Pour to be wild.
I'm gonna have to actually start reading the ingredients on my Italian sandwiches I order now. I order off the menu. I've never been like, I'm gonna customize it this way. Like, no. Hold the matzah. I will take the what for the provolone.
Get
like,
ketoed, idiot! Ha ha ha!
like I'm always like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. No, I just order. I was like, yeah, I'll take that one. The one that says the Italian, I will eat that one.
The other classic I get prosciutto, mozzarella, red peppers, roasted red peppers. So like they've been like flamed a little bit. They usually come with a little bit of like in olive oil, and I get it with balsamic vinegar. Balsamic vinegar on a hero. And that is how I gain like 20 pounds during the school year with zero exercise.
Sounds incredible.
It's really good. It's really good.